Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the cyber threats facing our hospital, the bad actors behind these threats, and how they might be attacking our systems. So this information comes from the CISO presentation where we identified various cyber threat actors, including the APTs, which are the advanced persistent threats, cyber criminals, and insider threats. And the goal of this presentation is to understand these threats and how to protect our critical systems. And first of all, we want to look at the potential system attacks and threat actors. So as we saw before, we have advanced persistent threats, APTs, which they tend to do long-term attacks. We have cyber terrorism, which they disrupt the services to create fear. Script kiddies, which are hackers using pre-built tools. Cyber criminals and organized groups, which are the organized groups that gain, or when they do cyber attacks, they want to get some ransom from it or some money from it. Uh, they typically do some fraud. Hacktivists, which are mostly um, attacking institutions for symbolic reasons. Industrial espionage, which are competitors looking to steal information from the property, and insider threats, which could be the employees or contractors misusing the information that they already have from the hospital. And it could be an accident or it could be intentional. Now, let's break down the two potential attacks from each of these actors from least serious to most severe. So, first of all, the severity. Script kiddies and hacktivists are attacks which are not to happen as often with hospitals because they have different, well, for example, hacktivists, they have the symbolic views, and script kiddies, it's easier to defend against their attacks. But we do have APTs which infiltrate our systems for long term and they disrupt or steal the data from the hospital. And when we look at the potential attacks that they could do to the hospital, if we look at advanced persisting threats, we can see that they can send phishing emails to hospitals or to the employees, tricking them into clicking certain websites or malicious links. These would be something that it's less serious because we have our cybersecurity system, which um, could target these attacks and they can defend easily against them. But then we have more severe tactics, which are exploiting unknown vulnerabilities in the hospital system to gain deep access or to steal data and disrupt the critical care of operations. Cyber criminals, again, uh, they use basic tools to steal maybe like username and passwords from the staff, but these are not as serious as if they were to deploy ransomware to encrypt critical hospital systems like patient records. And then insider threats, the less serious that we would see from them would be maybe like an employee unintentionally sends a patient record to someone that they weren't supposed to send it to. But then the most severe would be maybe the employee intentionally deleting patient files. And that could affect the patient, the health of the patient, and the hospital itself. Um, Now, I want to look at the difference between the threats and the vulnerabilities. So the threats, it's essentially the threat and the vulnerability. They do have uh, danger. They both possess danger. But for example, the threats are mostly like ransom or phishing attacks, where vulnerabilities is just a weak system that could be caused due to an outdated software. So, for example, a weak password could be the vulnerability in someone being able to hack a system through a phishing attack because of the weak password, then that would be the threat. And ways to prevent it would be regular updates on systems or passwords, creating strong passwords, and doing employee trainings. Um, and in conclusion, it is important to protect our hospitals because we want to have that extra layer of defense. So we could do it by implementing multi-factor authentication, the MFA, for all the accounts. We can also provide regular training to the employees so they can recognize, phishing or any other threats. It could, to avoid any unintentional um, attacks from like our insider threats from our employees. Do regular system updates to minimize the vulnerabilities and to develop any incident report plan so that way we could just be ready for whenever an attack comes to place. So by understanding these threats um, and addressing our vulnerabilities, we can safeguard our systems and ensure that there is uninterrupted patient care. And thank you so much for watching.